Hi everyone. I've been asked to answer this question for our families that are good about focused. So, do you like our logo? This was done by Ellie, our Ellie at the 519. Beautiful logo. So, I'm asked often, should we throw away our books that are not as modern, or languages, or the language is not as gender expansive, or that it's a very gendered story? Books are expensive. Books are expensive, and yes, we do have the children's book bank where we can get books for free, but some books have been passed down to you from family members. They have sentimental value. That might be the first book that you've ever picked up and read. So you don't by yourself as a young person. So you may not want to get rid of that book, and that's okay. So what you need to do is become a little creative with your, when you're reading that book to a child. And maybe, depending on the age of that child, have the conversation as to why the book is so gendered and what the purpose of the book being so gendered is in that time. It's okay to let the children know that this book was written a long time ago when you were a child, and people spoke differently then, and they didn't know. So now people are learning, and they're using the language that they've learned. So, for example, this book I've had, I would say, over 15 years. I like this book so much, I've taken it to so many centers that I've worked at in the past. And I've had to become very creative to keep this book when I read it to the children in my life. So, for example, it's called The Bus Ride. And the first part of the story starts off, let me hold it up for you. It starts off saying, starts off saying the girl got on the bus. So, of course, that's not a very gender expansive language to use. So I would say the child got on the bus, and the bus went fast. So let's see. There happens to be another person that could be defined as a child getting on the bus. So that would be confusing to somebody small who is trying to follow the story. So I would simply find another way of identifying that second person. So they're carrying an apple. So I'm going to say Apple got on the bus. So the person's name is Apple, and they're carrying an apple. And the bus went fast. That's right. So for the rest of the story, it's pretty simple, because they're animals getting on the bus, and the author did not gender the animals. So we can flip through that part and get to the part that I really want to focus your attention on. Let's see. Bear with me. It's hard to do this with one hand. So here's the part. The bee got on the bus, and then, as you can see, everybody looks very uneasy. They're looking up at the bee, and they're wondering what is going on, right? So, when we flip to this part of the story, as you can see, it's almost a list. The rabbit got off the bus, the horse got off the bus, the fish got off the bus, the rhinoceros got off the bus, the goat got off the bus, the hippopotamus got off the bus, the fox got off the bus, Apple got off the bus, and then the last person on the bus, you got to remember what you call the first person that got on the bus. You said the child got on the bus, so now we're going to say the child got off the bus, and they all ran fast. And why would they be running fast, you'd say? The bee was on the bus, and the bus went fast. So everybody left the bee on the bus. Now, this book has always been a winner, no matter which center I bring it to. When I was going from center to center with the children, with the City of Toronto. So I would encourage you not to get rid of your old books. I would encourage you to become creative using the language that you know now, the gender expansive language. I have another book that is fairly important to me as well. I'm going to bring you closer so you could see the other book. This book is called yes ma'am, but I've changed it to yes I did, because yes ma'am I believe is very gendered. Now of course it's written a long time ago. Let's see when it was published. 1980. So you know the language would be pretty gendered and not expansive at all. But that's okay. We're going to work with it because this book means something to either myself or the little ones in my life, so I don't want to throw it away. But I will have that conversation with them. Why is it so gendered? Did you feed my cow? Yes, I did. Will you tell me how? Yes, I will. Okay. How did you feed, or what did you feed them? Corn or hay? What did you feed them? Corn and hay. Okay. Did you milk? And I changed the name of I gave the cow a name. Did you milk my cow? Did you milk Star? Did you milk Star too? Yes, I did. Well, did you know what to do? Yes, I did. How did you milk Star? Swish, swish, swish. How did you milk Star? Swish, swish, swish. Did you feed my pony? Yes, I did. Did my pony eat? Yes, it did. How did they eat? Sloppity, sloppity, sloppity. How did they eat? Sloppity, sloppity, slop. Did you ride my pony? Yes, I did. Did my pony go? Yes, it did. How did it go? How did it go? Buckety, buckety, buckety. How did it go? Buckety, buckety, buck. Now we get here. Did you feed my donkey? Yes, I did. Did my donkey eat? Yes, it did. How did, and you can name the donkey. So let's say we name the donkey Apple, because the donkey's eating an apple. How did Apple eat? Gloppity, gloppity, gloppity. How did Apple eat? Gloppity, gloppity, glop. Did you ride my donkey? Yes, I did. Did my donkey go? Yes, it did. How did my donkey go? Gloppity, gloppity, gloppity. How did my donkey go? Gloppity, gloppity, gloppity. Or buckety, buckety, buckety. And then we have, how did Apple go? Buckety, buckety, bump, bump. So that is one way you can make sure that you don't need to throw away your old books. And you can explain to your little one what the green tape is all about. The green tape doesn't hurt the book. It comes right off. It's painter's tape. And you can write right on top of the green tape. So if you need to remind yourself of something. So this is a way that you can preserve your books without having to spend a lot of money. Imagine somebody living on a fixed income, or somebody living in another country where income is very, very, very low, and they have a few books. This is a way if you learn something new, you want to use it. You want to use that new language, that new expansive language, then you can use it. You just have to be very creative on how you're going to use it. Right, folks? Thank you. That's very helpful. And same thing with songs. You know, we have many songs that we sing. We sing the Grand Marshal of Pride. They had 10,000 friends. They marched them up the hill, and then they marched them down again. And when they're up, they're up. And when they're down, they're down. And when they're neither halfway up, they're neither up nor down. Right? And they marched them to the left. They marched them to the right. They marched them all around the town. Oh, what a fabulous sight. So you know that song came from the Grand Marshal of Pride. So that's part of the ways, my friends, you can be very creative with your books and with your songs to help your children enjoy circle time, and to help yourself build your new vocabulary in the non-binary language that's so expansive when you get to know it. All right, friends, thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Hooray for families. Hooray for families. Someone in the crowd shouts, hooray for families. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who are we for? Families, that's you. Bye. Thank you for joining me for our Glitterbug moments of tips. Those are some good tips.